Hello friends, in this video I will tell you about line graph. Line graph comes in Ielts writing task 1. So if you want to do it better, you should know how to do a line graph because sometimes you may get a pie chart, bar graph or sometimes you may get a line graph. So you should know how to do all the graphs. Now I will explain about line graph. Firstly, you should know what is line graph. I will tell about the line graph. What is line graph? A line graph is a graphical presentation of data that changes over time. It uses line segment to connect data points and show changes in the data. The x and y axes are used to denote the changes in the data. Within a line graph, there are points which are connected to show the changes in value, while the title of line graph shows the general overview of the data. The x-axis presents the occurrence and categories being compared, and finally the y-axis shows the scale, which is a set of numbers that presents. A scale or number in y-axis is organized in an equal interval to represent the data more visually. Line graphs are quite versatile and it is an extensively used family of graphs. Line graphs are quite common in the academic Ielts test. So if you are planning to take the Ielts test, you must understand how to write a report or a summary based on a given line graph. A line graph can contain one or multiple lines to show changes over time and comparison among different items. A single line is comparatively easier to describe, and with the increase of the line number, it can become quite complex sometimes. So maybe you feel some difficulty to explain when there are multiple lines. Now here are some tips that will tell you how to write a line graph. So I will explain them and I will give you some more tips that you can use in the Ielts exam for line graph that can help you to do it better. The first one is have a clear introduction. Try to include all information from the two axes and the names of the category. You have to give the clear and full information so that the examiner can get it right, that what you wanna say. Second is put main trends in overview. Put all main trends in an overview and statement. This should be contained in one paragraph. Do not divide your key points into different paragraphs. Make sure you include the main increase and decrease shown. The third one is use range of vocabulary. You have to use a range of vocabulary and do not make spelling mistake. You have to use different verbs and nouns. Use a range of adjectives and verbs. Vary your time phrase. So these were the things you have to keep in mind in the that you have to use in vocabulary, and you have to keep in the mind about the range of adjectives and adverbs, verbs and nouns that I will explain further. Now the next is put numbers and percentage. You have to put numbers and percentage to the support of your sentence in the body paragraph. If you will fail to do, it will be result in a low score. You may not get a good Ielts score in the writing test. You have to organize your body paragraph logically so it is easy for the examiner to read. So organize paragraph logically. Don't always give like from, to, for, the amounts. Sometimes you can give the difference, like you can say it is increased by double, then you can tell the amount. You don't have to leave any empty line between paragraphs to make them easier to see. This is not a rule, it is a strong recommendation. If the line graph contains many lines and lot of movement, you have to be selective. You are being marked on your ability to select key feature. And next is time management. Don't spend more than 20 minutes on task 1. You will need a full 40 minutes for task 2 because task 2 is bigger than task 1. You have to organize your time. Firstly, you have to read the question, then understand it, then organize your time. You also need less time in task 1 because it's not long as compared to task 2. Now the next is verbs and nouns. Here is some list of verbs and nouns that can be used to describe a line graph in Ielts writing task 1. For the upward trend, you can use rise, increase, climb, grow, go up. Means you don't have to use the same word again and again. You can use different words. For the downward trend, you have to use decrease, drop, fall, decline. These are the different words. Their meaning same, but like they are synonyms. They mean same, but you don't need to write the same word again and again. Like for increase, you don't have to write increase again and again. For decrease, you don't have to write decrease again and again. You can use these other words also. There is some other vocabulary that can be helpful in the task 1 for line graph, that is dip, level off, peak at, plateau, remain unchanged, bottom out. And you can also use hit a high of, hit a low of, reach a peak of, remain stable, remain steady, fluctuate. Means you can use such kind of words in the verb and nouns. And in the adverbs and adjectives, I have some more words that you can use. Like in adverb, you can use steadily, gradually, sharply, steeply, slightly, considerably. And in the adjectives, you can use steady, gradual, sharp, steep, slight, consider, and more words like dramatically, significantly, rapidly in the adverbs. And in the adjectives, like rapid, significant, dramatic, gradual. And I will give one example, like if you have to tell about the increase in the number of cases of influenza, you can say like the number of cases of influenza increased steadily from 40 to 55 in the first 3 years. So you can use adverb and verb and noun same, like increased steadily. They both are used in the sentence. Next is time expression. It is also important. Ielts line graph show change over a period of time. So here are some expression to help you to describe the passing of time without too much repetition. So I will tell you about that. You can use like over the period, the last year, the final year, the first year, or you can use at the beginning of the period, at the end of the period. If you have to talk about the next 3 days, you can use over the next 3 years, or next 3 days later, in the following 3 days, the next 3 days shows. Like this you can use time expressions, so that you may not waste your so much time, and you may not have to repeat the things again and again. Now here is one example done for you, so that you can easily understand how to do a line graph. In the example you can see it's written that line graph shows estimated scale of gold in Dubai for 12 months in 2002 in millions of dirhams. Write a report describing the information in the graph below. So here is a graph given. You have to describe in the graph about the question. First you have to read the question, then you have to understand, then describe it. So I have written the little information, and you have to read it, then you can describe after looking at it that what it illustrate. The given line graph compares the gold sales in Dubai from January to 2002 in December 2002. The sales price is given in millions of dirhams, and it is evident from the diagram that gold sales in Dubai was highest in March while it was lowest in July and September. So you have to explain, and if you have to explain it more, you can say like, according to the given illustration, the gold sale in Dubai was 200 million dirhams in January in the given year, and it increased to around 230 million dirhams in the next month, like in the February. The highest scale of the gold was in March, amounting 350 million. From April to July, the sales amount kept on decreasing and reached to the lowest level in the July with just above 100 million dirhams. In August, sales was just above 2,200 million, and after that, sales amount of Dubai gold shows some fluctuation. In September, the sales amount again reached at the lowest price, while at the end of the year December 2012, the sales was just below 200 million dirhams. So you can explain it furthermore that what is being shown from the line graph, or you can describe it in a better way if you have practiced it. So before you take IELTS test, make sure you practice every graph before you go for exam. You need a lots of practice before you do it, because you need to know many things that in the exam you can use. So these were some tips and one example done for you. You can use it to do a line graph and also understand better.